That's not true.
Hold on. Colorado legalized abortion in up to 9 months with no medical reason required. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that decision.
Ana Kasparan is on a very, very interesting arc that a ton of people, including Lance from the Serfs, are very angry at her for going on. I think it's very interesting and very good to see, to be honest, that somebody from the Young Turks, a company, a organization that I never thought I would see somebody leave from the left and go more towards the center. I mean, Ana Kasparan is very, very far from right wing, but to see anyone from the Young Turks actually open their eyes to the BS that the left has been spewing, these fake statistics that they've been using for the longest time, and actually acknowledge that on social media, go after other leftists for actually still acknowledging those fake statistics, for pushing these narratives that are just extremely dangerous. It's great to see, but at the very, very least, even if you don't care about any of that stuff, it's very entertaining to see Ana Kasparan just go after these people like Lance from the Serfs, and that's exactly what she did once again today, because Lance from the Serfs tweeted this out. I think it was Lance. It was somebody from the Serfs, and I also have to be on an alt account. If you're wondering why I'm not on my main Twitter, it's because I'm blocked by the Serfs for some reason. I have no idea why, but the Serfs say, gotta be liberating to not have to pretend anymore, and it's a screenshot of Ana Kasparan talking about Portugal's decriminalization of drugs and why it backfired. Ana Kasparan responded to this because she's not letting any of this stuff slide anymore, and she says, Ana Kasparan does, listen, I get that a dishonest and untalented clown like Lance needs to distract from his embarrassing debate with Tim Pool, so he's going to post a screenshot of a story I covered and mischaracterize what I said. Here's the full video, and we're not going to watch that just because this video is already going to be pretty long by itself. And she also responded again, Ana Kasparan did, and said whole point of the video was how Portugal's decriminalization policies were a success until the government cut funding for rehab outsourced work to nonprofits. Either you have issues with basic comprehension or you're a liar who's mischaracterizing things. It's both for Lance. Talking about Lance from the Serfs, obviously. And Ana Kasparan here is completely right. These people like Lance are very angry at Ana Kasparan because she's quote unquote leaving the left, when in reality she's not leaving the left. She's just becoming a normal, logical thinking human being, which eventually does lead to you leaving the left, by the way. But I don't think Ana Kasparan is even close to doing that. She's just realizing that a lot of the leftist talking points are utter nonsense, and a lot of the stats that they use to back up these really stupid talking points are fake statistics. They're false statistics in articles that are written by these news sites that just operate in such bad faith that it's not even funny. That these people like Lance from the Serfs, they know that they're written in bad faith. They know that these statistics are false, they're bogus, but Ana Kasparan is the only one on the left that's actually willing to acknowledge it, and she's forcing others to acknowledge it as well. Like, she's forcing Cenk Uygur to actually acknowledge it whenever she's on the same show as him. But other than that, I mean, these people don't like to acknowledge these things. So shout out to Ana Kasparan, man, for this arc that she's going on. But like I said, it's pissing off a lot of people like Lance from the Serfs. Lance says, what does me making a post about you have to do with me debating Tim Pool 2 months ago? I don't understand how they're connected. Are you taking credit for coaching him or something? No, that's just the only time that you've ever been relevant, Lance. Like, nobody really cares about you outside of your Tim Pool debate that you got absolutely embarrassed on. Like, there was multiple viral clips that happened because of how stupid your debate strategy was, because of how stupid the stances that you were taking were, and how Tim Pool was just kind of like very easily dismantling all of them just by asking questions, just by using very, very simple logic. He was able to dismantle all of the points that you combated him on. So that's why she's talking about the Tim Pool debate, because you haven't been relevant outside of that Timcast appearance. Ana Kasparan responds and says, I felt like cooking tonight, Lance. You hungry? And then this person responded to that tweet and said, you and Lance had the same take on abortion though, question mark. And Ana Kasparan says, no, we do not. I do not agree with the notion that a woman should be able to terminate a healthy pregnancy at 9 months. Almost no one believes that, except for Lance, because you're not a real leftist until you believe that you can kill a baby even outside of the womb, because that's how far these leftists are willing to take their talking points in order to combat the right. Ana Kasparan responds to that tweet and says, so when Lance goes on Tim Pool's massive platform to declare that the left wing's position is my body, my choice, even at 9 effing months, maybe consider who here is really helping the right wing narrative. That's very true. You're making the left seem more and more ridiculous, the more and more ridiculous and outrageous your stances get. And Lance from the Serfs definitely has some of the most outrageous statements and stances that I've ever seen, especially on that Tim Pool and that Timcast appearance. I really saw into who Lance from the Serfs was, which I didn't really know who he was previously. But after that appearance, it's very easy to see who he is. He's just going to go as far left as possible in order to gain a bigger following from that side of things. That's all he's going to do. Lance from the Serfs responds and says, fair enough, we're on completely opposite ends on this one. So let's check out this clip on the Sitch and Adam show, which is kind of how this entire controversy happened with Ana Kasparan, like I said, quote unquote, leaving the left, because she really went off on this appearance on Sitch and Adam. And let's check out what Lance from the Serfs has to say here in this clip.
I want to say something about abortion. As someone who is firmly in favor of reproductive rights, I want to tell you guys and your audience that The vast majority of us do not agree with what Lance said on Tim Pool's show.
But you were talking about how women, how like disgusted you are that women may have an abortion in the 9th month, right? Or even
a viable baby.
Of a viable baby.
That could live.
I wanted to scream at that time, being like, women who have abortions in the 9th month, they're not doing that because they got bored, or all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't care anymore. They do that because it's a fucking tragedy. Like, statistically, women who are getting abortions in the 9th month, it's because there's a medical complication that could kill them. That's why they have to do it.
So first off, Tim gave him like a ridiculous hypothetical of like a healthy pregnancy at 9 months, and the woman just decides like, I went through the torture of being pregnant for 9 months, and I've decided to end my healthy pregnancy, right before I'm going to deliver.
Right.
No one's in favor of that. Okay, no one, literally no one. I guess except for Lance.
Pregnant, the baby is viable and capable of surviving on its own.
Sure. And
she says before it breaches oxygen, kill it. Do you think that should be allowed?
This is, again, the baby guillotines. This is why I brought that up. But what a weird scenario. This doesn't happen. This is not the real world.
So I don't know what Lance...
It's called a hypothetical, Lance. You ever heard of one of those before? Like, I can't... What really pisses me off about those types of people is that they refuse to engage in hypotheticals knowing that it's a hypothetical. Like, you know what a hypothetical is, man. It's to establish where your ideology stops. It's to establish how far you're willing to go. It's not about having real life examples. It's just engage in the hypothetical, man. Just help the conversation along.
Really thinks.
Yeah.
But the only time abortions happen in the 3rd trimester, first of all, they're always tragic. They're always awful. And it's because the woman's life is in danger.
Yep.
Okay. It's never because the woman was lazy and decided that she wanted to do it last minute.
I don't think women on the 9th month get abortions with viable living children and then be like, I don't want it, kill it. I don't think that happens.
I don't know why Lance did that. I think it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And look, I don't think it makes sense to make all abortion illegal in the 3rd trimester. There are some rare instances where if the woman's life is in danger, right? But be clear about that. Just be clear about that.
So 88% of abortions are in the first 12 weeks. 88.
Yeah.
88% of abortions. Less than 1.3% of abortions take place near the 8th or 9th month.
So that was Lance from the Serfs' response to Ana Kasparian's tweet. Now let's check out what Ana Kasparian had to say in response to that one, providing full context of the clip here. Ana Kasparan says, oh, here, let me help you include the part where you sign on to terminating healthy pregnancies at 9 months. The part that you don't want to draw attention to. Let's check out the full context of this clip that Ana Kasparian put in here.
Hold on. Colorado legalized abortion in up to 9 months with no medical reason required. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that decision.
And that's one of the examples of Tim Pool just absolutely destroying the guy, because his talking points, his ideologies, they're not actual principles. Like, he's not a principled person. He's just like, I want to go as far left, as far away from the right as I can possibly go, because that's where the audience is. That's how you make money nowadays. If you're a leftist, you go extremely far. You go to the socialism and communism stuff. You go to the super, we are allowed to kill babies even outside of the womb just because we want to. Like, that's how Lance from the Serfs thinks, and that's the stuff that Ana Kasparian is fighting against. And that's why I respect people like Ana Kasparian so much for actually just recognizing how ridiculous the left has gone recently. And like I said, how they just use bogus statistics to back these things up. Let me know what you're thinking about this whole Ana Kasparian versus Lance from the Serfs situation. And what did you think about Lance from the Serfs on Timcast? What did you think about Tim Pool? Did you think he also destroyed him? Because I think that Tim Pool destroyed him. But let me know in the comments if you agree with me and Ana Kasparian that he was embarrassed on Timcast, or if you agree with Lance from the Serfs here. Let me know what you're thinking about the whole situation.